Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brock Page, and if you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I'm not a sports betting expert, I'm just a fan. That said, let's get into some picks for the 30th. Brooklyn at Miami. The betting opened up with Miami as the 10-point favorites with the total points at 216.5. Currently, Miami is now -9 on the spread, with the over-under jumping up half a point to an even 217. On a side note, the Miami Heat's heavily favored, laying 500 on the money line. In addition to that, 56% of the money's on Brooklyn. That's right, Brooklyn, to win against the spread. Tonight's projected scratches are Jeremy Lin and Joe Harris for Brooklyn. I have Josh McRoberts and Josh Richardson for Miami. That said, let's break down the spread real quick. Overall, Brooklyn's covered 47% of the games, while Miami's covered 54%. Location numbers are pretty even, as Brooklyn covers 52% on the road, while Miami's 52% at home. Miami's got a slight advantage as they've covered 56% of their games as the favorite, while Brooklyn's just 48% as the underdog. Along with covering in their original matchup, Miami's also a decent 54% against the spread versus teams allowing more than 102 a game. On the other side, Brooklyn's gone just 39% in the same category. That said, let's take a look at the total points real quick. Both teams have played in games going under the line in 3 of their last 5. Both teams are also collectively averaging 215 in each of their last 4 games respectively. That said, I'm not comfortable on the spread, so I'm going to toss that out the window. The numbers are too tight there, and when it comes to the total points, the numbers are a little too tight there for me as well, but I cannot bet against the red-hot Miami Heat. See what I did there? I got to take the Miami Heat winning this one outright as the first game of my 2-team parlay. Once again, I like Miami winning this one outright for the first game of my 2-teamer. Next game I have for you, Cleveland at Dallas. The Cavs just decimated OKC at home. Look for them to keep the momentum rolling in Dallas, but it might be a little too tight for comfort. I like the Cleveland Cavaliers winning this one outright. Not on the spread, winning outright for game 2 of my parlay. No analysis needed here. I like Cleveland winning outright in the second game of my 2-teamer. All right, so there's plenty of other action in the NBA, and although my 2-teamer is all set, I'm going to add a few more picks to the show for the sake of entertainment. So let's go ahead and get into it. Sacramento at Philadelphia. This one opened up as a pick'em contest in South Philly with the total points at 206.5. Since then, Sacramento's currently the 2-point favorite on the spread, with the line dropping down half a point to an even 206. Tonight's projected scratches are obviously Ben Simmons for Philly and Rudy Gay for the Kings. That said, let's go ahead and break down the spread real quick. Overall, Sacramento's covered an acceptable, that's right, acceptable 54% of their games, while Philadelphia's covered a solid 60% even. On the road, Sacramento's covered a decent 57% of their games, but the advantage goes to the Sixers, covering 65% at home. So the Sacramento Kings have covered just 7 of 14 as the favorite, while the Sixers have covered a solid 64% as the underdog. Here's a number that jumped out to me. At the current point spread, the Kings have covered, a decent 57% of the games, while on the other side, the 76ers have covered a staggering 80% when the line's around +2. Even more, the Sixers have covered an impressive 74% of their games as the official home underdog. Even better, Philly's covered a solid 63% of their games against teams winning less than 45%. Along with covering the spread in the first matchup, the Sixers have covered a solid 67% against teams allowing more than 102 a game. All that said, let's take a look at the total points real quick. Both teams have respectively gone over the line in 4 of their last 4 games. Even better, both teams are averaging 223 in their last 4 games respectively. I hate including total points in my teasers, but I think I have to do it. That said, I'm including 2 picks from this game in my 5-point teaser. I like the Philadelphia 76ers +7 to win on the spread with the over 201. Once again, I'm taking in my 5-point teaser the Sixers +7 with the over 201. Next game, Memphis at Phoenix. The betting opened up with Memphis as the 4-point favorite, with the total points posted at an even 210. Currently, the Memphis Grizzlies are now -3.5 against the spread, with the total points dropping down to 208.5. On a side note, Memphis is laying 165 for some moneyline cash. Tonight's projected scratches are Wade Baldwin for Memphis and Dragon Bender for Phoenix. Before I get to the spread, currently 68% of the money's on Memphis to win against the spread. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Memphis has gone 49% against the points overall, while Phoenix has covered 52% of theirs. On the road, Memphis has gone just 46%. They've covered just 46% of their games, while Phoenix is 55% at home. As the favorite, Memphis is covering 45% of their games, while Phoenix has gone 58% as the underdog. At the current spread, Memphis has covered just 4 out of 10 this year, while Phoenix posts a record of 8-6. As the home underdog, the Suns cover a solid 67% of their games. Even better, they're covering a staggering 80% versus teams allowing 99 to 102 a game. On the other side, Memphis has covered just 13 out of 33 in that category. All that said, let's take a look at the total points real quick. Memphis has gone over the line in their last 2 games, while Phoenix has gone over in their last 3. Both teams have also collectively averaged 219 in their last 4 games, respectively. Memphis seems to be the clear-cut winner, but I'm a little skeptical on the lines. I really like the Suns' numbers against the spread. I'm going to include the Phoenix Suns in my 5-point teaser. I like Phoenix +8.5 in my 5-point teaser. So that's going to do it for the teaser. My next picks, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just picking moneyline winners and gambling here. Orlando at Minnesota. I'm taking the home team. I like Minnesota winning this one outright. And for my next and final game, Detroit's at Boston. Got to take the home team in this one as well. I like Boston over the Detroit Pistons for some moneyline cash. Well, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. But if for some reason you decide to use the information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Predictions and Sports Picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.